Bradley Center?
Yes.
So it's possible that a family could get moved twice?
It is possible. Yeah. Yeah. And it has happened. It's happened in previous boundary changes. And again, we try our best not to do that, but I'm telling you, it will probably happen at some point. We can't guarantee that it won't. Because we can come up with a really good boundary for the elementary school, but if that whole elementary school ends up shifting to a new high school, it could happen again. And that's why we're asking, come on December 6th, because you'll be able to look at your specific neighborhood and see where we have you slated to go based on what the recommendations of the committee are. Okay? Any other questions? So this is what the site looks like. So this is, you can see here Fowler and McKinley. This is the new Woodside Homes development. And then this outline is our school property, and you can see how this cutout fits into right here. So this is the design that we have that we're working right now for this new elementary school. Just kind of for the information, this is the kindergarten area. This is the first school that we've designed that will be part of this new UTK, TK program. So we're building 4 kindergarten classrooms here. We've got 2 at all of our other elementary schools, but because of the change in that being a new grade. So that's gonna be probably one of the main differences, and then you can see just kind of how it's built out there. So that's what the site is going to look like on the actual footprint of the campus. And then we have just these are what we call artist renderings of the campus. This is not going to be the school colors yet. So if you hate orange and blue and you think your kids might go to this school, don't hold it against your architects like this color combination, and so they just kind of ran with it. But everything else is what it looks like here. This is So this is just an example of, again, this is that kindergarten area that I talked about. Kindergarten area that I talked about here with 2 classrooms on this side and 2 classrooms on the other side. So we are still very much so in the early design phase of this campus and making changes. We just met today to make some more changes on this. So it will not look like this by the time it's done. It will be close, but we're still in the process of designing the building. Okay? Any other questions about anything facility related while I'm here? The last time I was here, I'll say I had questions from one of the parents about the crosswalk at Gettysburg and Locan, about getting that put in. And I met with the city of Clovis last week. They are doing it. They're going to do it for us. It's on their queue, so it will be happening. They said as soon as they can get to it, that will be put in. So that was something that we've been waiting on for a while that we were able to get handled there. So that was something good. Yes?
What are the parameters for safe crossing of major streets? For instance, Fowler, where these kids will be. Fowler's kind of a not super safe area for them to be crossing without
So
crossing guard or something, and teachers are busy.
So the good thing here is this whole side of Fowler is undeveloped, so there shouldn't be a reason for kids to cross there. This is Gallo on this side, and so this will be
Vineyards are a little higher than
here.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, but then that brings me up to head up Fowler. I'm off of Fowler, Miramonte's across the street. Miramonte's numbers are going down over the years.
They are.
And if you float Juarez kids over there in order to deal with problems, crossing Fowler and Ashland would be the crosswalk.
So one of our other criteria that we look at when we do boundaries is not having kids cross major roadways.
Okay, that's what I wanted to know.
Yeah.
Are we watching those major?
Yeah, so one of the first things that we look at when we have our boundary meetings is we make sure that we print the map with the roads that are visible, because it gets lost if you just look at the blocks. And then that's one of the main criteria, probably one of the first ones, because it's the easiest one to see. Right? If we took this neighborhood, just like you said, these kids are going to have to cross Fowler. And so we work through that process as part of our boundary change process.
Okay, so major roads are a factor in
They
those
are.
decisions.
They are.
Okay.
Yep.
Is there any way to know if this ES 35 will open as a Title I school?
Great question, and the answer is, once we get farther down the road, if you come on December 6th, it's good commercial, we'll have more of that information. So, if you didn't hear, the question was, will the new elementary school open as a Title I school? Right now, the chances are yes, in looking at what our committee has come up with so far. And so that is, we are tracking that, and this is an additional piece of information that we look at as well when we create this school. Two ways: not taking Title I status away from a current school that is Title I, and or not creating a Title I school where there isn't one, are two factors that we look at. And sometimes we can avoid that, and sometimes we can't. It just depends on where the growth is happening. But we will have a pretty good idea.
Okay.
Okay.
Do you have projections for other schools that may possibly be Title I next year?
We have projections for the entire area and what each of the moves that we're proposing would do to those sites.
What's the proximity that you would require busing? Is it like over a mile?
1 mile.
Walking distance?
Within a 1 mile radius, there's no transportation provided.
Okay.
Unless, like I said, in the Forest example, there's a canal that kids would have to cross and a narrow crossing. We provide transportation to that whole
So
neighborhood.
it's that thing between just for boundaries, you try to keep those who are under a mile with safe walking conditions.
Correct.
Kind of where they are already.
Mhm. Yeah, so you'll see, if you come on December 6th, when you see our boundary maps, one side of them has a shaded circle around each school, and that's the walk boundary. And so we look at that, because we also look at the reality of within that 1 mile, right? It's not a concrete thing, so your house is within the 1 mile, but your neighbor falls outside it, so their kids get transportation and yours don't. So we try and do it by an area or a neighborhood so that we don't make that division.
Thank you.
Yep.
But the middle of high school is 3, correct?
Yes.
3 to 2.5. I thought it was 2.5.
It's 2.5, I believe.
Okay.
Yeah.
As the crow flies, right? This is all as the
As the crow flies. Yep. Great question.
One more question, sorry. How many elementary schools does it typically take to feed into the junior high school?
Yeah, great question. So if you look at what we have right now, this Clovis East is big. So we range anywhere from 5 to 8. And so I'd say 5 is the lowest that we want to go, right? Because our goal, anytime we open, and now we're kind of shifting to the new area, we still want to offer all of the same services and opportunities that our kids would get at any of our other areas or in any of our other areas. So that's why we want to make sure that we're watching that. All right, I will hang out. Oh, go ahead.
Sorry, how many, do you guys know how many transfers you allow? Because I know Quail Lake kids come this way, right? And so are you guys accounting for that?
We are. So you're like a plant in the audience. So on the internal document that we're using, when you look at this capacity number, we have accounted, and you don't see it there, but in the formula that we work with, each one of our schools, we've done a longitudinal study for the last 15 years of how many transfers have been in there, and we've accounted for that in the number. So for example, Fancher Creek, we have had up to 100 transfers in the past per year from outside of the district. So it's OOD, outside of district. And so when we do that, then we build our boundary to 650, knowing that we have the potential for an extra 100 students from outside the area move in. And that's how we manage that. In the years past, as the numbers started getting high, we've closed those outside of the district's transfers, and we haven't allowed them in. And that's how we're able to control our number a little bit. But as we do this, and we're looking at possibly the opportunity or the need to build capacity for the new area and the new schools, it gives us some flexibility in that when we look at how many transfers. The short answer is yes, we know what our formula and our ratio is at each one of our elementary schools and where we'll set that.
Because I'm guessing you're taking into account the new development that's going in close to McCall, which I
That's
don't even know if that still is. And then they're also building on the other side, they're going to build on Shaw
So, a couple things. I'm gonna let, Kelly was gonna say something about transfers, I think.
You kind of hit upon it. The transfer question is an interesting one because California law requires us to allow people who work in the district to attend school here. So that's a law that comes into play, but we're able to say what schools are open for that, which is what allows us then to keep programs at schools as they decline enrollment. Obviously in the Clovis East area, we've been in a growth pattern for so long. So the transfer question is an interesting one, but it is used to benefit residents, and we keep account and move kids around within that or accept them. So that was an important factor. I think Denver hit upon it a little bit.
And then as far as the Bradley Center opening, you're right, we've had this property for almost 18 years. Our plan was to build on it. The Bradley Center sits in what's called SADA, or the Southeast Development Area, and it's a water issue. And so the reason that we haven't built the school already is because the development community has stopped completely building out there because they don't have access to water and or any infrastructure. So for us, what dictates the school is the number of rooftops, right? And so the worst thing that we could do is build a school and not have the rooftops to support it. And so as a school district, we can build in that area right now. No residential developer has permission to build in that area right now. And so they're waiting on a study to come out, and then they're waiting on a rate structure that will then dictate how much houses are going to be and how many fees are associated with that. So the reason that we're delayed is because that happened, I believe, in 2013 is when that came into play. And we're at a point now where we've been meeting with the city of Fresno on a regular basis, and we're actually moving forward. There is no infrastructure out there. And so we're moving forward with our own plan for that. So we're going to provide our own water and our own wastewater treatment plant and all of that in order to get this campus up and going in the time that we need it, which is dictated by the enrollment. Yes?
Is your map slightly outdated? Your map with the growth and development? It seems like some of those neighborhoods are completed or
These?
already started that
Here?
don't show up per se.
This is as of 3 weeks ago.
Okay, just some of them are like already done, there's no more houses in them that are for sale.
Are you talking about
That
here?
orange one already has houses in it and it doesn't show for 2 to 4 years.
Yes, that's for build out.
Build out.
Complete
Oh,
build out
completed.
and
Okay.
fill up.
That
Yeah.
makes more sense to me.
Yeah.
I thought it was like when we're starting.
Yeah, no. So we're saying that this one, it has probably been started, you're right, but it won't be completely full, all the houses done. Our
And the
projection is
green
in
one
2 to
next
4
to
years.
it's already done.
Correct,
Okay.
correct.
Since we started a little bit late on the live stream, would you mind to just quickly recap the timeline for when the
Yes.
elementary boundaries are going to be considered?
So, elementary boundary, just to recap, we started the committee in October through February. That executive committee will meet. The boundaries committee is going October through November. November 7th, tonight, and then December 6th, our community meeting. The board will see it in February and take action on these new boundaries. February 15th is the plan. Okay. All right, yes.
One more, sorry, you kind of slid in there mentioning the Bradley Center that there would possibly be some shifting from Clovis High here and in there. Is there any chance of any shifts regarding Clovis High feeder elementaries along with this new school, this new elementary? Or are we solely working with the existing elementaries that are feeding into Clovis East?
For the elementary boundary or for the,
Elementary. I know of the high school is a whole different ballgame.
right, so for the elementary boundary, right now, this is only a Clovis East area boundary change for the elementary.
Okay.
All right, thank you all very much. I'm gonna turn it over to Ms. Thomas. I'll stick around if anybody has questions. I'd be more than happy.
First of all, great questions. I think if you're thinking it, somebody else is also thinking it. And the questions that you provide us allow us the opportunity to update our FAQs, also allow us to prepare for future meetings, knowing what you're asking so we can have that information ready to roll for the next meeting. I feel like we need to take a deep breath for a second because this is kind of heavy topic, right? We've got two things probably in your mind right now. We've got the elementary boundary changes that are going to affect the Clovis East area and pushing some students to our new elementary school here real soon. And then we also have the impending boundary change that will come with the opening of the Bradley Center. What I want to tell you and hopefully assure you is that the process is done with a lot of care and a lot of thought and attention. Our principals do an incredible job building a very welcoming, inclusive culture and climate at their school sites. We're known in Clovis Unified for being a very relational district, and we love our school, and there's a lot of pride in the schools that we attend, and that's what we want. So we know that it's an emotional topic, maybe not so much with a new elementary school, but oftentimes with boundaries going to a new area, a new high school. But each principal here is a part of the process and a face that you'll be able to connect with and work through questions and concerns with, as well as all of our parent meetings. And then I just want to say that here tomorrow, our school board will be announcing the new principal for the new elementary school. And that principal will be out, all
Wednesday.
community meetings.
Yeah, Wednesday. Board
Wednesday,
meeting
sorry.
Wednesday.
Did I say Wednesday? Did I say next week?
Tomorrow.
Tomorrow?
It's been a long Monday.
Oh, it's been a long Monday, sorry. Wednesday, thank you. Wednesday, we'll have the board meeting where the new principal will be announced, and then that principal will be out and about in our communities, at our meetings, allowing the parents the opportunity to see the face with the new school and start building connections. And as soon as we know what is decided after the December 6th meeting and receiving all the feedback, then that principal will begin building relationships with potential families that are going in that direction. So I just want to assure you that we work really hard at Clovis Unified to keep those relationships strong. And through this process, it'll be a lot of connecting with current principal and then new principal. And like Mr. Stair said, we work really hard to make sure that it's seamless and that programs and existing opportunities at one school site are at another school site. So I just want you to know that we do think about these things, and it's important that we have seamless and smooth transitions.
Before we go, I do want to show you, so this is on the district homepage. It's also on every one of your elementary schools, and then both Rayburn and Clovis East. But this tab that says 2022 Elementary Boundary Study, if you click that tab, it's going to have a quick little video from 2 minutes today, but it also, then if you click this link to learn more about the boundary study, this will take you to the page. Oh, look, this is from tonight. Awesome. But then here's all of the information that we shared tonight. This is the timeline in a easier way for you all to review it. Here's that same map with all of the growth that's anticipated. And then there's some pictures that go here. And then most important for us, then here's an opportunity for you to provide feedback. And if you fill this chart out, it comes to me, and we can get you any information that we need to, and or it'll go to your site principal. And if it's something that is site related, they can answer that. But if it's an overarching topic for the district, then we'd be more than happy to get you that information. And that way we can get you that information out as soon as possible. And then down here at the bottom, if you click this link, this is the same PowerPoint that we went over tonight. So if you want any of those slides or any of that information, you can click this and download that, okay? So if you have any questions at all, like I said, I'll hang out. And if not, again, thank you all very much.
And see you December 6th. We really
Yes.
want parents out at December 6th so you can see the scenarios and provide us feedback.
And meet the new principal.
That too, yes. Thank you for